rest of the congregation, including the people that you lead. So if there's a breakdown, because I can only do so much. I only have so much time in the day. I only have 2 hands, honestly, and 2 little feet. The fact of the matter is, I need some people to help me. And I ought not have to chase after people. Are you understanding what I'm saying? And again, I'm not venting. I'm really wanting you to understand this is all constructive, because really I want everybody to embrace what we're talking about. Because it's only going to make your job easier, which makes my job easier, and it makes the rest of the corporate ministry flow easier. Are you hearing what I'm saying? That's really what it's about. So you've got to do this. I've got to get these things in real quick before we take this next quick break. There's 3 ministry components. The first one is a vision crier, and I know we're still in 2 Kings. The next one is I'll do that one. System task oriented. And the third, organizer, and the third is, I did it in reverse. Organizer. And then we have the spiritual shepherd. Three ministry components. The vision crier, the system task organizer, and then we have the spiritual shepherd. Now, I'm going to just share this with us, and then this can actually flow into the next element that we'll talk about in just a moment, actually. But I want to just share with you simply what these are. You can tell exactly what they are. They're very, very obvious, honestly. In each one of these 3, we may all possess 1, 2, or all. Some of us possess all of them, not a lot. Some of us possess 1 of them. 2 might be dominant. But in some way or another, these begin to outline just an overall categorization, if you will, that helps us to take a snapshot from a higher level of how church functionality should be. Okay? But I know we've kind of lost a little bit of time. We're going to touch on this in just another few minutes, but I want to get into 2 Kings. We're talking about vision. This is a biblical example of vision. And there are some, there's many others actually, but this one caught my eye and my ear when we ran into, when I was preparing for this today. 2 Kings chapter 6, right around verse number 15. And when the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto them, Alas, my master, how shall we do? And he answered, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. You see that? 17. And Elisha prayed, and the Lord, I pray, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about him. And when they came down to him, Elijah prayed unto the Lord and smote the people, I pray, with blindness, and he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elijah. Verse number 17, let me share this with you just so you understand what's happening. The king of Syria was warring against Israel. And he did not want to go, well, he wanted to go to the king, but someone told him that you really should go see the man of God first. So the king of Syria sent all of his soldiers, his whole battalion, down to go see Elisha first. And so when all of his battalion comes early in the morning, they came overnight. They laid up camp. And when the servant went out earlier in the morning, Elisha's servant, he began to see that there was a lot of people encamped around. And he ran back. He said, Master, Master, they have encompassed us. They have surrounded us. And Elijah was cool, calm, and collected. He said, don't worry about it. He said, because no matter what number you see, there is more with us than it is with them. Now, the reason why I brought this up that really struck me, particularly for today's lesson, is the fact that vision, number one, understand what's going on. Vision oftentimes becomes an issue when you're in battle. Are you seeing this? Because the servant was cool, honestly, before the battle was going on and all of the people were around. And sometimes our ignorance, our not knowingness is bliss.
You better say it. Say it again. Restate that, sir.
Are you hearing me today? Because the fact of the matter is that everybody was cool until the servant woke up and saw we were surrounded. But the only reason why they were surrounded is because the king of Syria warred against. That's what verse number 13, is that 13? Verse number 8 says, the king of Syria warred. So vision becomes even more important when there is a battle going on. Because really, the servant sounds like us rather than Elijah. Do you see all those people? Those people are coming to get us. They're already ready for us. They got their shield. They got their sword. What are we supposed to do? Elijah, see, listen, when you have vision, not only will it come about when you're warring or in the midst of a battle, but when you have vision that extends beyond what you see in front of you, then you're able to remain cool, calm, and collected. In other words, you don't get up in arms just because people may show their weapons. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying today? Because there is more with you than it is of them. But the only way you would know that is if your vision is extended. So Elijah said, Lord, open this young man's eyes. And all of a sudden, it's like, I'm trying to think of a good movie. Movies are always good. Stories are always good. Have any of you seen The Mummy? You have? You remember when the little son had the bracelet on and everywhere he went, it like showed him where it was? That's kind of how I would envision, my sanctified imagination, would envision how this young man's eyes were starting to be open just like that. All of a sudden it just went, shoo, and he could see all the way up in the mountains. And he said, there they are. And as soon as he saw it, he was cool, calm, and collected, just like Elijah. Isn't that amazing? Number one, it says to us that sometimes vision becomes, again, very crucial when we're in the midst of a battle. Number two, what that says to us is sometimes we get all upset for absolutely nothing when we really should trust God, because there's always more with God than it is with whatever situation that is immediately in front of our faces. And then in that confidence, in that trust, you know what else happens? Is that vision, when we see, it will allow us to have such a resolve. Because sometimes we add to the pot. We stir the pot, if you will. We like to shake stuff up sometimes because of our reactions. But when you really have confidence in God, you don't allow stuff just to get to you so easily. You see what I'm saying? Because ministry now becomes a focal point. So the fact of the matter is is that as we start seeing, as God starts expanding our vision, then now we have a sense of understanding that really everything will be well. Everything will be all right. Despite what I'm seeing in front of my face right now, despite my challenges, everything outside of that is already taken care of. Because the Bible says that he's more than the world that is against us when he is with us. Our vision would tell us that before we get up in arms. What time is it? Let's take a break. Take a break.